Welcome, everyone. Today we're stepping into the shadows. We're exploring these moments where, the familiar wilderness just transforms
into something truly terrifying.
Exactly. Scenes of, unimaginable dread. These are accounts from people who faced something that left them questioning really everything.
Nature, reality itself.
Yeah. We've gathered stories from all over, really. The Pacific Northwest, Japan, even the battlefields of Europe and, deep American woods.
Each one is kind of a standalone encounter, right?
Right, but together they paint this really unnerving picture of what might be lurking just off the path. So our mission today is just to share these experiences, let you kind of feel that creeping fear, the shock, the questions that linger.
It's a fair warning, maybe.
Definitely fair warning. These aren't like tales. They're for those curious about the darker side of things. Nature, the human mind, all of it.
Okay. Where do we start?
Let's start in the Olympic National Forest, Pacific Northwest. A woman named Isabella, she just had her first child, and she was looking for some peace, mental, physical solace, trying to get her confidence back.
The woods can seem like a good place for that.
For sure. So she goes on her first, serious solo hike, and then disaster strikes. She sprains her ankle pretty badly.
Okay. Vulnerable situation.
Very. And right then, something weird happens. A crow flies down, and it seems to be singing to her, watching over her.
Like out of a storybook.
Totally, like a Disney moment, she thought. Comforting,
Yeah, I can picture that.
So her ankle gets worse, the pain ramps up, she's actually crying, and the crow comes back, does its little song and dance again.
Reinforcing that feeling of connection.
Exactly, a beautiful moment she felt. But then things take a turn.
Uh-oh.
Just as she's feeling this connection, she hears something huge crashing through the trees.
Okay.
A grizzly bear, just out of hibernation, starving, drooling even, as it spots her.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's terrifying.
Right. And the crow's song and dance, it becomes frantic. Isabella thinks, okay, it's warning me.
A natural assumption in that panic.
She gets her bear mace ready, uses it, and thankfully it works. The grizzly backs off. She manages to limp home, shaken, but alive.
Thank goodness. But the crow.
Yeah, the crow. So later, Isabella does some research. Crow behavior, bear behavior.
Yeah.
What she finds is chilling. Crows often lead predators, like bears, to injured animals.
Not to help the animal.
No, not at all. They lead the predator there so they can eat the leftovers after the kill.
So the crow wasn't warning her.
It was trying to make her the bear's dinner so it could scavenge. Her little Disney moment was actually nature being brutal.
Wow. That's a powerful shift in perspective. And it really shows how we, project our human feelings onto animals.
Completely.
So we see compassion, connection, but it's often just instinct, survival. It's a stark reminder, really.
Absolutely. Okay, so from that kind of deceptive nature, let's travel across the world to Japan.
Okay.
To the base of Mount Fuji. Beautiful mountain, right? Okay. Iconic. But it casts this long shadow over a place called Aokigahara Forest. The sea of trees.
Yes. Aokigahara. It has a reputation.
A very dark one. It's incredibly dense forest. The lava rock there absorbs sound, so it's eerily quiet, like absolute solitude.
But it's not just the quiet, is it?
No. Historically, it's linked with Jurai ghosts, spirits of the dead in Japanese folklore. And tragically, it's known as a place people go to end their lives.
It's a deeply sorrowful place.
Authorities have tried to intervene. Signs, helpline numbers at the trailheads, urging people to reconsider.
But the problem persists.
Hugely. The numbers are staggering.
Yeah.
Over 100 bodies found back in 2003. In 2010, over 200 attempts, with more than 50 people dying there, usually overdoses, hanging, but other methods too.
Grim statistics.
And it spikes in March, apparently, end of the fiscal year in Japan. Things got so bad, officials actually stopped publicizing the numbers.
Trying to avoid like a copycat effect, suicide contagion.
Exactly, to curb its morbid appeal.
So what's driving this? It's complex. I imagine there are cultural links often cited. Well, there was a novel in 1961, Nami no Tu, which kind of romanticized a joint suicide near Fuji. And then much later, in 93, this very controversial book came out.
Right, the complete manual of ending your life.
Yes. It detailed methods, sold over 1 million copies. Extremely controversial, obviously, for potentially encouraging acts there. That's sometimes called the Werther effect, after an old novel that reportedly sparked similar issues.
But the forest's connection to death is older than that, right?
Oh, much older. There's the historical practice of yubasute.
Abandoning an old woman.
Essentially, yes.
Wow.
Leaving elderly, infirm relatives in remote places like mountains to die. It happened in Japan into the 19th century.
So the belief is that the spirits, the Jurai, of those people haunt Aokigahara now.
That's part of the folklore, yes.
Yeah.
It gives the place this ancient, deep connection to suffering and death.
And then more recently, it hit global news because of that YouTuber, Logan Paul.
Yes. That caused a huge backlash.
He filmed the deceased individual there, made jokes, apparently. The outrage was immense, huge repercussions for him.
It highlighted the ethical minefield around such a tragic place.
It really did. And, Aokigahara is sort of a symptom, a focal point for a broader issue in Japan. Over 25,000 suicides a year. That's 70 people every single day, mostly men.
Deep, deep societal issues reflected in that one forest.
It's just incredibly somber. Okay, let's shift gears again. A different kind of forest, a different kind of horror. World War II.
Okay, where are we headed?
The Hurtgen Forest, Western Front. This story comes from someone's grandfather who was just 18 in late 1944.
Right in the thick of it. Young kid.
Yeah. His platoon's on patrol, routine stuff, probing German lines. Then a single rifle shot cracks out, pins them down instantly.
Sniper.
German sniper hidden somewhere in those dense woods, and he just starts systematically picking them off one by one.
Nightmare scenario.
What haunted the grandfather, though, wasn't just the fear of being shot, it was the sniper's behavior.
How so?
Their radio man gets killed. Anyone tries to reach the radio, bang, another shot. One guy tries, gets his hand blown apart. They're trapped for 6 hours at the mercy of this one guy. And every time he shoots someone, cuts down another American, he laughs.
Laugh.
A loud, echoing, joyful laugh. Sometimes he'd shout something in German. They later figured out it meant something like, more crying children?
It was sadistic.
Yeah.
Beyond just combat.
It gets worse. At some point, he can't see any more living targets moving, so he starts shooting at the dead bodies.
No, why?
To break them psychologically. The grandfather described seeing a bullet hit a dead comrade's skull, pulverized it. Just fragments, brain matter, eyeballs dangling, and the sniper just laughed and laughed.
It's profoundly disturbing.
Yeah.
It's pure psychological warfare. Deliberate desecration to break the enemy's spirit.
Exactly.
Targeting the bond between soldiers, the basic human respect for the dead, the trauma for those kids, barely adults. Unimaginable. That's combat trauma at its most extreme.
They had to wait for nightfall to even try escaping. Ran back through the dark, the sniper still yelling, "Cowards, cowards," still laughing between shots.
Just the sound of that laughter must have echoed for years.
He said it never left him. Okay, let's move to Scotland now. Maybe something a bit less visceral, but still deeply unsettling.
Right. The Scottish Highlands.
Yeah. Galloway Forest Park. A group of friends from Liverpool, annual fishing trip. They decide to try a new spot, this deep loch called Loch D.
Sounds idyllic, initially.
Totally. Campfire, second night, everything's great. Then one of them, they just call him the lad, he suddenly flinches back, asks, "Who was that?"
Okay.
Claims he saw someone moving in the trees right behind them. The others kind of laugh, think he's trying to spook them.
Standard campfire stuff.
But he's serious, like really serious. Suddenly, it's not funny. They shine torches around, see nothing but trees. They try to calm him down. Maybe he had too much beer, but he's adamant. Someone really, really big.
Uneasy feeling starts creeping in.
Definitely. Next morning, things are still tense. Later, they're by the loch and the lad shouts again, points across the water. That thing, it came out of the trees, then it disappeared.
Still no one else saw it.
Nope. Now he's panicking, grabs his gear. We need to leave now.
But they tried to reason with him.
Yeah, they tried. But that night, it completely unravels. He bursts out of his tent. Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
And they hear
Nothing. Just silence. But he's scratching at his ears, gritting his teeth, totally overwhelmed by a sound only he can perceive.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. The chilling realization for his friends and for us listening.
There was no noise, no monster. It was all in his head.
He was having a psychotic breakdown.
That's terrifying in a completely different way. It shows how isolation, maybe stress, unfamiliar surroundings, how the mind can just create its own horror. Your own sanity becomes the enemy.
Exactly. The fragility of perception right there.
Absolutely. A really profound kind of fear.
Okay, next story. Back to the U.S. Nantahala National Forest, North Carolina, near Asheville.
Beautiful area.
Yeah. Story involves Amber and her dog, Captain. He's an Alaskan Klekai.
Smaller, husky type, right? Energetic.
Very. She calls him a subwoofer of a dog. Needed tons of hiking. The woods were their sanctuary.
Until they weren't, I'm guessing.
Precisely. One chilly October day, sanctuary turns into nightmare. Captain, usually bold, starts acting terrified. Quivering, whiny wreck, she says, trembling.
Not his normal reaction to, say, a squirrel or something.
No, this was different. Pure terror. Amber knew instantly they had to get out, but they were deep in. Like 2 hours hike back.
Okay, long way to go when something's wrong.
They start heading back, frantically. Captain, even though he's scared, he's leading the way, but constantly looking back over his shoulder, wild, terrified eyes.
Yeah.
And then he just yelps and bolts, howling, barking like crazy into the trees.
Trying to draw something away. Or just fleeing.
Maybe both, because right then Amber hears it, rustling right behind her, and the sound of something huge breathing.
Oh.
She realizes she's being hunted. She describes that feeling. Knowing you're being hunted by something that will crunch your bones into meal and not feel a frickin' thing, says no emotion compares.
Primal fear. Pure survival instinct kicks in.
She runs, tearing through the woods, frantic, dry retching from fear and exhaustion. Captain's barks are like her guide, her lifeline.
Good dog. Brave dog.
Incredibly, she falls at one point. Captain stands his ground over her, barking wild, full of rage. A terrifying, inspiring sight, she said.
Wow.
But then the unseen thing, it roars back, and even Captain goes silent for a moment. Then he grabs her coat, tries to drag her.
Smart dog, too.
Get her moving. That raw survival need gets her up again. They reach a riverbank. Problem. Captain hates water. He just stops.
Oh, no. Trapped between the hunter and the water.
Amber's begging him, jump, Captain, steak dinners for a year. He hesitates. Looks like he might run back into the trees. Terrifying moment.
I can imagine.
But then he comes back, takes this incredible leap like an action hero across the river. She sees his big, pale blue eyes shining.
Amazing. What a dog.
Seriously. She collapses later, totally exhausted, wakes up in the back of a pickup truck. Some hunters found her. Captain's safe too.
Thank goodness. So what was chasing them? Do the hunters know?
That's the creepy part. She tells them what happened, asks what it could have been, says it was way too big for a black bear, which are common there.
And the hunters?
They go silent, exchange these looks. Then one of them lies, says, maybe a grizzly. They could make it this far.
But they don't, do they? Not in North Carolina.
Nope. Amber checked later. Grizzlies are nowhere near there.
So why lie? That's the question, isn't it?
Exactly.
It suggests they knew something or suspected something. Some local knowledge, maybe a legend, something they don't talk about openly. An unknown predator, maybe? Something that still takes victims.
And it leaves you with this really unsettling feeling of a hidden reality in those woods.
A local secret, kept quiet. Yeah, very unsettling. Okay, final story. And this one starts with a pretty blunt warning.
Whoa.
Please do not go hiking in the woods around Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Okay, noted. Why?
The narrator says they know these woods intimately, grew up playing there near Mount Greylock. But something's changed.
Something feels wrong now. Yeah. During a spring hike, they notice the woods are dead silent. No birds, no animals, which, as they point out, usually means one thing.
Big predator nearby.
Right. That primal sense of unease kicks in. Then things get really weird.
How so?
They get lost in woods they know, at the back of my hand, completely disoriented. Head starts throbbing. Nothing looks familiar.
That's disorienting in itself, in a familiar place.
And then physical laws seem to break down. Their compass needle just spins wildly. Moss is growing on the south side of trees, but the sun is also in the south. Nothing made sense.
Okay, that's deeply strange, beyond just being lost.
Panic sets in. Then they stumble upon this old, rundown cabin, never seen it before in all their years there. Feels totally out of place.
A hidden structure?
Seems like it. As they get closer, they feel this weird sensation, like being physically repelled by it.
Yeah.
And a voice, like a whisper in their mind, says, leave this place and never return. Don't look back, never look back.
Oh, okay. Psychic phenomenon now.
It seems like it. The door creaks open. Inside, it's abandoned, but the furniture has this curious order, like maybe someone visits sometimes. But in the corner, that's where it gets really bizarre.
What's in the corner?
A wooden idol, a statuette on a stone altar, made of like twigs and vines and moss, a real mess.
An idol, like some kind of effigy.
Yeah. And they describe this feeling like their brain just couldn't process what they were seeing. The headache comes back, crushing anxiety. They just knew instinctively this thing was a representation of pure, unfiltered evil.
Just an overwhelming sense of wrongness.
Exactly. Terrified, they bolt from the cabin, run outside, and only then do they realize it's pitch black outside, nighttime. But they went into the cabin in broad daylight. And they're only inside for maybe a couple of minutes.
Lost time, a huge chunk of it, day to night in minutes.
A massive temporal shift, a leap straight into the night.
Okay, this story pushes us right to the edge of the known. The disorientation, the compass failure, the moss-defying logic, that repelling force, the mental message, the idol, and then the impossible time jump.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
It points towards something truly outside our normal understanding of reality. Maybe some kind of localized distortion, a place where the rules are different, or an ancient presence, something malevolent that affects both the physical world and perception itself. The idol suggests a focal point for this, this deeply unsettling energy. It blurs the line between the psychological and the potentially supernatural.
Yeah, it really does. So from, deceptive crows and forests of despair to wartime horrors, fractured minds, and woods that seem to warp reality itself.
It's quite a range of unsettling experiences.
It really is. And what these stories show us isn't just, dangerous animals are getting lost. It's this unsettling idea that sometimes the real horrors are things we don't understand. Places where that veil between known and unknown gets thin.
Reminders that even familiar ground can hold ancient evils, hidden threats, or just the terrifying fragility of our own minds.
All lurking just out of sight, challenging how we see the world.
Indeed.
And that wraps up our deep dive into these, truly terrifying deep woods encounters. We hope they've left you with maybe a sense of mystery and definitely a healthy respect for the unknown out there.
Stay safe on the trails.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the eerie. If you found these stories gripping, please do like this deep dive, share it with fellow horror fans, and subscribe to the Horror Docx channel for more.
We appreciate the support.
We do. Until next time, stay curious.
Yeah.
And maybe, keep an extra eye on those shadows.